here I am again. It's week 7 or 8 of lockdown. Today is the day that we can go fishing. It's Wednesday the 13th of May. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm now officially 52. That seems pretty bad as well. So yeah, it's been a great time. And what I'm doing is, in the lockdown period, I want to get my rod for the river. I want to get the eye repaired on it that I broke when I got the electric shock, and wanting to get that done in the lockdown. But all I've done is sit down, watch telly and eat cake and chips. So I've done loads of weight loss, as you can imagine, and had a jolly good time. So there you go. Here's the eye. I don't know if you can see it there. Let me just put my light on. Yeah, you might be able to see it. You must be able to see it there. Just there. The ceramic is broken. So I've started because I didn't realise that I should film it, and I'm going to cut the whippings off, put the new eye on and re-whip it. I'm hoping that this white stuff here is painted on. Knowing production methods of today, hopefully that is painted, because then they'll just whip this silver thread on and rod's done into it and gone. So I ain't going to be able to use this rod. I am going to go fishing today. All the tides this week, thank you Boris, are crap for me. The closest place for me to fish, I'm afraid to say, is the river. I'm going to fish some different bays on the river, just to so it isn't the same. I know that if you fish in the same place all the time, it gets a bit laborious, but those videos will probably come out before you get this, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going fishing. Hopefully I'm gonna, well, I ain't hopefully, I'm gonna fish some different bays. I think tonight I'm gonna fish bay 28 if it's free. But like I said, all the tides are rubbish. High tide tonight. High tide is now, and when I'm coming home from work, I didn't have time to then get my gear in and get there and get set up. So I'm gonna go tonight, and the high tide is at 11:42, which is very late. Bearing in mind I've got to be up for work for 6:30. So 5:30 the alarm goes off, and I'm up and getting ready to go to work. Needs must though, isn't it? Could be in lockdown again by Friday, so it'd be handy to do some more fishing and get some more videos up. So yeah, going fishing tonight. Looking forward to it. I'm also going to go to East Halton and places like that along the wall. Same sort of scenery and stuff. Obviously it's at the river and that, but it's a different place, so we'll try that. I do want to try and catch some soles, and we'll have to see if you can get some from there. Anyhow, let's get this set up. Ow! To try and cut this thread, and then it'll undo. Alright, I'm back, Tom. Just turned the radio down. Getting the end of the thread is difficult. I did a rod yesterday on one of my old rods that I'm doing. I've got eyes for me mum's rod now. It was difficult to do. So you got that off, you can see that, can't you, there? And that just takes that bit off. What you want to try and do is get one thread, so you pull it and it unravels it. But considering this is now the second eye that I've removed, no, third eye. Won't be able to get hold of that with some pliers. No. There's a thread. Now it'll probably come off there, see? You got to cut one single thread, that's hard work. But there. I don't want to heat up the flame too much in case I damage this blue finish on my rod. It's damaged there. Damaged there anyhow from where it fell over. Not when I dropped it. Yeah, never that. That's what you do. It's hard work starting it off like that. And then once you've got a thread, you can just pull it off. Sugar. I reckon a hairdryer would be alright. Anything to warm that up. Careful it doesn't go up your fingernail as well. The epoxy resin, because that hurts. I reckon if we got a hairdryer, it'd be a little bit more safer for the finish of your rod. It's looking like that white band is paint. I did buy some white whipping thread. You have to really try hard to cut one thread. That's it, that was caught under the foot. Just wind that off. That is width on there. Right, that's all the silver whipping off. That is white whipping on there, and do you know what? I'm just going to leave it. That's what I'm going to do. So, I'm going to put a piece of this tape on there. What time am I off fishing? Dan, I'm making an Oscar here, and you're asking me what time I'm off fishing.
No, you want to know if you want food.
Well, is it going to be edible?
No.
Don't know, Dan. Possibly, yeah, I wouldn't mind some tea.
So I just need to know what time you're going?
I don't know. Well, I'll have a cup of tea in a minute and we'll sort it out. I've got a pen there. So, I'll put tape on there. And what I'll do is, we'll mark. Mark that, so it's like that. And we'll mark this one as well. Right, so what I'll do is I'll take this off and then I'll bring you back for the next bit. Well, that's the eye off, look. There's the eye. That's the damaged bit there. Broke it round there. There you go. So what I've done is the white come off on this side. Because this isn't, I ain't a rod builder, yeah. I'm just capable of putting an eye on that ain't gonna fall off. So I've trimmed off this resin. I think I've trimmed that off enough, it's fine. That is my start point. That's my end point. I just need to put some white threads on there and then get the new eye, get it on, tape it in place. Yep, it goes that way round because I remember that. Need to remember that this double one was facing towards the reel, whereas this single one was facing towards the tip. So yep, that's it off. They just tie the white thread on. They do 3 or 4 and tie it on. I'm gonna be going from here, the shed, to the telly to have a look how to do it on YouTube. But like I say, I've got the white thread. I'm not going to redo that because that'll look alright, and once I've done it, it'll be fine. This is the rod that's going to get dropped again. It'll get damaged again. Well, hopefully not too soon. And I shall use this in a few days' time. Right, so that's the old eye. And these are the new eyes that I ordered. So I've got the exact same eye as before, as you can see there. This is the brand new one. And I also ordered a tip eye for this rod, so that if I ever have any trouble with the tip eye, I've got a spare replacement one, exactly the same. The chap that I got these from, if I can find the phone number and that, I shall put it into the below. Put the link in. Basically, he gets all the damaged rods and such like from Shakespeare, and if you want to buy an eye, then if you want to buy an eye, you just contact him, and he'll give you the eye. That's not good drop now. But if I can't find the information for the link, if you phone up Veals of Bristol and just ask them about a replacement eyes for a Shakespeare rod, then they'll just give you a phone number. And if that phone number don't work, you just have to ring the next one, because the chap that, and he'll give you another phone number for somebody else. So they all work together. It's all good stuff. So I'm just going to stick that exactly check it's the right eye. Don't put the old one back on, do I? Sort of thing that I would do. We just tape it on. I'll put a pencil mark roughly here, just so I've got something to follow. We tape that side on. like so. And then what I'll do is I shall start whipping this side on, but I'm gonna now check it. So I shall you shall see me again when I'm ready for whipping. I'm just going to take this rod out of here now and check that this eye is in line. Might put a little tiny piece of super glue in there as well, just to bond that on so it don't move. Alright, back in a bit. Right, I'm back. You have to start it from now, Tom. So we're going to it's all damaged there, look. Oh, you cock. So, you have to bear with me. This is the first time I've ever done it. Right. Plus my eyesight isn't very good. I think that needs to go to there like that to there. And then we start whipping this here. And you just turn it and whip it, because obviously my whipping machine is a cheap one, because I like things cheap. And might have to get a magnifying glass. I need a pusher. Need a pusher. That'll do. What we'll do is put some light on the job as well, because we have the power. Now I can see a bit better. So we'll use this to bang this over here, like so. How's that gone round there? That's weird, isn't it? Couldn't have got that on right in the first place, could I? Someone's sneezing outside. Sounds like hay fever. Get some of that up. That's all gone loose again now, look. Right, so let's get this. Don't matter about having gaps. Because I can just tuck them up. I was going to get a burnish and make a burnishing tool, but I need to get this rod done. I need to get this rod done so that I can use it, because my other rod that I use for the river is now busted. Now we've got everyone and his dog doing the... Right, well I think that that's done now enough for me to cut that bit of thread there. And we can take this off. So that's that done. So yeah, if I had the proper whipping machine, it would be quicker, I suppose. More chance for me to make mistakes as well, I suppose. But sorry about that, front of the lens. I'll try and get that up there yet. I learnt something here already. I did watch a video where people actually file this down, because then it allows for the thread to ride up this eye easier. I'm thinking about whether to do that now or not. I think this is grade D thread. It don't seem that big, much bigger to me than the grade A. Yeah, I'm filming.
Quick enough for us to reply to you.
Oh, right, okay.
4 pages long.
Right. Thank you. Right, cheers. I'm just going to have to go with this now. I've learnt that you need to file these down. I knew you had to file them down. I didn't file it down because I'm an idiot. But you see there's a gap there because it goes up and it flicks on. I am wondering if I can go like this. Nothing's ever perfect. This thread is that fine, I think I'm going to get away with this. Right, now we're back to where we were. The other one should be a lot smoother transition. I like to do something right, but for me to do this right I've got to snap that off there, and I can't be asked with anything going wrong because I need this rod to fish with. And at the end of the day I want the rod to look right, i.e. it's got silver whippings. I just want it to function. That's all. You see, I'm not a rod builder, as you can see. But compared to how I used to do it with a piece of cotton thread from out of the sewing box and some araldite, and the eye was just held on, and by the time you finished whipping it, it weren't lined up with anything, but you could still just about fish. That was good enough. So this is the next step up for me. The machine that I'm using is what I made so that when I put the epoxy resin on, it doesn't slump. Right, now put this in, apparently. Let's get this under here. Right, we're at the bit of no return. You're going to have to excuse my thumb. I've got to thread that through there. Right, so pull this. That ain't very good, is it? That's just snapped. Right, so, and then if I just, yeah, that's on it. Now if I just cut that there now, like so. That should just pull that little tuft under there. Like so. Hidden. And as an abortion as that looks, why is that not going down? Probably whipped too far up this eye here, but that'll be alright. That's better. Now I don't want to do what people say and put the lighter on that, because it's metallic and I don't know whether it'll turn it a yellowy colour. Right, so that's the first one done. There's a couple of gaps there. I ain't particularly bothered. Don't think you'll see it once it's got the epoxy on. Yeah. So there you go. And that's a fly tying bobbin that I used there. So that's the first whipping done. I shall take the other side off here, and I think I've got to put some white on there, which will be interesting. And then I shall put some more thread on. But the only problem I had there was I didn't file the top of this leg down. If you file the top of the leg down, the transition from the rod blank onto the eye is cleaner, because what its thread keeps doing, it keeps popping under. Now that's on tight. I've got a few little tiny gaps. I can't be asked. Once that's epoxy, that'll look fine to me, for me to fish into the river, because I'll probably drop the rod again and have to do it again. So the more I do it, the better I'll get. So I'm hoping on this one here, because this is just a single leg and not a double, it's going to be a bit better. But I bought this eye from a chap that gets all the damaged blanks from Shakespeare, and he just takes the blank off, the eye off the blank, and send it to you once you've paid. So it's the exact eye for the rod. And I just thought to myself that because it had already been on a rod, it would have already been filed, and it didn't look it. Obviously with the machinery they got, and they do it all the time, it's probably done by a machine anyhow, it's not a problem. But I should have filed that down, and that would have made this better, a lot better. So, and I should have stopped where you see these couple of blue bits. I should have stopped and tucked it up and made sure it was tucked up and put the thread on again. So, but yeah, it looks alright. That's the originals with a white band. I managed to keep a white band on there. That's that one, so I don't think it looks too bad. I shall take this off, like I've just said, whip this. I think I've got to put the white on, and then it'll get epoxy tomorrow morning, and then hopefully I'll be able to use it at the river next time I go fishing there, which I ain't planning on. I'm planning on doing a lot of sessions at the seaside on the beach. Alright, so anyhow, I'll bring you back. I shall be back in a bit. there you go, and you don't get anything pop out, so you've got to clean it up. Now, yes, you can see bits of blue through there. It's not thick silver, same as this one in. But that is the best eye I've ever done, because I've even got some pattern on here. Look, I've even got the white on. It's the best eye I've done, wrapped, because I've taped it on, lined it up so it was all in line, and then super glued it on in place. That eye is in line with all the others. Normally, when I used to hold the eye with my hand, freehand, start wrapping the cotton round, and as you can imagine, the time you'd finished and you'd wrap this end, your eye weren't level, so you'd start forcing it each way, and it's just nightmare. But again, you was just putting it on so you could get out fishing. So this is in line with all the eyes. Yes, it's not 100%. If someone did this to you and charged you for it, you'd be saying, I want my money back. But for me, that is as a silver, well, it's nearly as silver as the other, but the resin isn't on yet, so we don't know. So we've got the white bands each side, same as. It's silver metallic, same as, and all that's left to do now is to put the resin on. And then I can turn it on so that it'll dry perfectly. I want to see if I can just burn that and see what happens. So this is what I've never had before. I've never had this machine that will revolve so the resin don't slump. And I always used to get globules of looking like snot hanging all over it, and it was terrible. So hopefully it'll go alright. So anyhow, I shall be back in a short while, once I get all the stuff ready and find it and everything. There we have it. And that's what it's meant to look like, which it don't. But it's good enough. Alright, so we're putting the sealer on now. Which to me looks just like PVA glue. Smells like PVA glue. So why spend £6 odd on PVA glue when I've got a 5 litre tub of PVA glue that cost me £8? Yeah, I don't understand that. Why would you spend, Vernon, £6 on bloody... I don't even know if I need to put this sealer on. This sealer apparently is to stop it going losing its colour. Yeah, it's what it's meant to do. So it's like a colour preservative. But I don't know. I think this thread that I'm actually using is actually UV protected. You still need to get it quite smooth though, because what I know of PVA is it'll dry in a lump. If it's in a lump, it'll dry in a lump. And people say to swamp it, but you don't need to swamp it. More of this stuff on than worse, I would say. I'll probably fix this and drop the rod and get to do it again, won't I? I don't know how much this would cost to get it done from somewhere else. If I was doing this for someone else, obviously I'd say to him, well, I'll do it, but it'll be for nothing, but you'll be waiting a long while because it's a big job, innit? But if I did 20 of these and I could do it quite happily, then yeah, you'd charge people for it, wouldn't you? But you couldn't charge someone for that. But that eye is on there, and it's the best bloody eye I've ever done. So anyhow, that's the sealer. I'm going to leave this motor going on now. That ain't going to go anywhere. I could turn it off now. It's nearly dry, look. But once that's totally clear and you can't see any white on there, it will be time to mix up the adhesive. But what I shall do is I shall take this tape off. I shall move it down. So I've got a gap like that one, and then I'll be able to put the epoxy onto it. And then what I shall do is I shall, after about 5 minutes with the epoxy on, I'll then take this tape off. Well, last part. It's 2 days since anyhow, start again, Tom. Well, it's the last part. It's been 2 days since the last bit you watched, and in that period I've wrapped it again. You saw me wrap it the first time and PVA it, and I've done it again, so it now looks like that. I wasn't happy because when I told you I took the old Whitmans off, I never sanded down this portion here where the cotton is, and there was lots of ridges in it, obviously from where the epoxy soaks through the cotton, and obviously it leaves us like little tiny U-shaped furrows. And the best thing to do is to just take a little bit of sandpaper, wet and dry, and just take them ridges off that, because then when you whip it on, it binds onto each other. What was happening was the cotton was going in each thread. So what I've done is I've just whipped over again over the top, and it's now a solid block colour of metallic silver, like that. So now it's time to put the epoxy on. So let's set this up. My camera just switched off because I got all excited about doing this epoxy resin, and I don't think, well no I didn't start record. So I've mixed the hardener up around there, which I'll show you, but I didn't press record, so the camera's just shut itself off, which is just like me, isn't it? So I mix it up, equal amounts of hardener and adhesive, work it into the cotton, go around that edge like that, go around that edge like that. And put a blob on there, getting into them bits there, and there. Get that revolving so we don't get any sagging. Wrong way, let's turn it off, turn it on. I don't know how much this cost to get this done for a professional, but I know they'd do it quicker. They'd have a better whipping machine than me as well, because this isn't really a whipping machine, it's basically a drying machine. But you weren't to make the same mistakes as me and sand down lightly the ridges from the old whipping thread. Then when you whip the new whippings on, it'd be perfectly alright. You wouldn't have the same issues what I had. But I've readdressed it, it looks better now. I just hope I shouldn't have done that. Let's go around there again now. Some people say that once you've done one coat on, put a second coat on. I ain't too bothered about having a bit of a lump of resin on there. People get a little tiny nail and stuff, but I'm quite happy with how it is. There and there. Let's fill that in. Might put a bit more on there. A bit more on there. Stops the weather getting in, doesn't it? It dries out on the top, the looks of it, where the thing is. Because obviously there's a where that is there's an see, now I've turned that on. Well, I'll finish talking. Where the eye is whipped on, where it's actually proud on the top where the feet are, the resin will soak through the cotton there, and that keeps drying out. So obviously the resin's going through. So I'm concentrating here. Right. Done it again, ain't I ain't got to find its own level, but I just don't want any schoolboy errors like what I used to do when I was using araldite. I think it just finds its own level, doesn't it? Car's gone. Getting to the point to go out and see who the heck they were. Right, let's hope that's got enough on and it hasn't got too much on. I don't know if this is free flowing and finds its own level. Right, well that's evened it out. You can see us going round. That looks to me as though it's a bit thick there. Well, it's a little bit higgledy-piggledy on there. Because I whipped over the top of the cotton, but I wanted it so it was a block colour of silver. Yes, I might have a little bit too much resin in the eye, but it's the first eye, I'm quite happy with that, as long as it looks alright from afar. I think I deserve a crispy lager. I don't want this resin to dry, and then when I peel the green duct tape off, it leaves bits of green duct tape on it. Yeah, what I would suggest definitely is the fact that when you take off an old eye, by removing the whip and thread and the resin, prepare your blank. Don't do what I did. I just thought it'd whip straight on. Get a bit of wet and dry. I don't know, 600 grit, 800 grit. I'd probably use 800 grit and then go to 1000. You ain't got to take anything off. All you're doing is sanding the existing epoxy resin. And what I would do is I would put it on a file. As a matter of fact, I'll show. Well, no, I ain't got anything. Yeah, I'd put it onto a file. Around the file. Let me just see if I've got anything. Even a bit of old cloth. So this is your this here is just wet and dry, and you just get your file, because obviously you'll cut a strip of wet and dry. This is a wet and dry piece. It isn't. It's a flannel. I know it's a flannel, and I know it is. But let's pretend this is wet and dry. So you get a bit of wet and dry. You cut a piece off like this, the width of the file. You get it on there like that. You fold it round, and then you've got. But instead of being coarse, it's only 800 grit or 1000 grit, and then you can just go round the file, taking off the old epoxy resin that the cotton's been embedded in. Once you've got that off, the other thing to do is to make sure you file down. See these feet here? These feet, each end, just the ends, file them down with a file. You can see that this one's been done. See how it tapers towards the end? Well, that's probably not enough, especially on a double one. Take it further up and file it down smooth. That way, when you come with your cotton will just ride straight up the foot instead of going up the foot and then going down underneath it. So that are the two mistakes I did in this, putting this eye on this rod, and that was all. So that's not too bad. I'm happy with it. It's for fishing at the river, as you know. Rod's fell over a couple of times and I've dropped it. And yeah, but that little now looks exactly the same as all the others. Well, not exactly the same, because the original thread is a lot more silvery than my one. But you can only buy what you can get, can't you? Shakespeare probably buy their thread. Well, they will do. They won't buy it from Fuji on a little cotton bobbin, will they? They'll go to a manufacturer and just buy huge bobbins of cotton that they'll use for whipping. And you can buy threads, how we buy it, on these little bobbins from grade A, B, C and D. They might go higher than that, but that's all I've seen. But whatever whatever the measurement is of the thread, anyhow, we'll go back to English. So anyhow, whatever those cotton bobbins that you get from the cotton bobbins that we use, from grade A to grade D, which is what I've used today, whatever diameter thread that is, Shakespeare or whoever makes these rods, they'll just get that diameter thread from a manufacturer of thread. You know, just because they call it A to D, in reality, if you go anywhere for thread, it won't be classed A to D. It'll be classed as whatever measurement it is. And obviously they've got a more silvery thread, haven't they? I've seen a real silvery metallic thread like that on Amazon for people with sewing machines and stuff, and I nearly bought it. It was ever so cheap. But it's close enough, look. You make a decision. All my waffling on the crap. You can see that that is more silver. You can also see it's whipped on better. But that's the best whipping I have done. As I said, all the other eyes that I've whipped on by hand. Yeah, I've whipped this on by hand, but I've done it by hand in the garage with the rod stood up, and I'm going like this with the rod round like this, and my other hand, which is holding this camera, is like this with the cotton, and I've just been tying it on with a knot, and then whipping over it and just going round and round and round, and then getting the cotton and just putting it underneath the foot on the eye and pulling it tight in there, and then putting loads of bloody araldite over it. So yeah, that's how I've done them before. They've never fell off. This one ain't gonna fall off. Perfectly alright. So thanks for watching this video. Tom edits some of this out, but obviously keep most of it in. And thanks for editing, Tom. And thank you to all you out there as well for watching, not falling asleep. And please subscribe, please share, and ring bell, comment, and give us a thumbs up and thumbs down. But please share my videos, because share the joy around the world of Verns sea fishing. What's that going like that? Of Verns sea fishing, and this is what you get. And if anybody can tell me how much it costs to have an eye whipped on and whatever, and how much money I've saved, bearing in mind the cotton cost me a tenner, the epoxy cost me money, but then I can reuse it all again. And this is my weighing it up. I went far out, was I? I used more hardener than adhesive. Hopefully it'll go off. Anyhow, I'm going, Tom. Micro, no, it ain't micro.